Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. We're going to hear from Mr. Jason Sagmiller with Race Crew Drum Smokers, and also Mr. Lee Hickel, one of our barbecue pitmasters here on Barbecue Champs Academy. Lee's had a pretty good run here lately and got a big cook-off that he's coming up to. He's really excited about, so we're going to hear a little bit about that. And talk a little bit about barbecue. We're going to talk a lot about drums. You know, so many people are cooking on these drum smokers now. And Jason has really got an amazing drum. I've seen them several times when I'm out and about. I know Alan Freeman is always cooking on them. When we was over in Ennis a couple weeks ago, I really got a chance to look at them in a lot more detail. He had them all out. And Jason builds some absolutely beautiful drums. So we're going to talk to Jason about that. I want to talk to him about flavor profiles on drums, hot and fast, low and slow. He told me he can set them up either way, so we'll talk a little bit about that. So we're going to have a lot of questions, hopefully, for him, and I'm hoping he'll be able to provide us a few answers as well. So go ahead and give me a shout out if you guys are in. We will certainly make note of it. Hopefully our comment section is working. I haven't seen anybody commenting yet, but if you let us know you're here, we'll certainly give you a shout out. We always appreciate it. We always like to use these first few minutes of the show to let everybody get settled in. A lot of times we used to always would start off maybe 2 or 3 minutes after we started. Had a lot of people missing the beginning of it, and so we always kind of like to just thank our people coming in. And appreciate you watching. We've had some great shows here over the last several months with a lot of good barbecue and steak cookers alike. And we're always looking for people. We've got so many people that taking classes from us. We reached out to Stephen Peacock again, or Stephen Peacock. He had another great weekend down in Meridian. I think it was a first place brisket, third place chicken. I think that's the second competition I think he's done since taking Lee's class, and he's just been absolutely killing it. And we tried to get him on the show, but he couldn't get off work. So we've got other ones, I'm sure, that we're going to continue to reach out to as well. So we got one comment already. Jared, love my Race Crew drums. Can't wait to be able to order my 30-gallon. Yeah, I got a chance to see that one. Alan Freeman had one that he was using to cook his chicken on. And, man, that is a nice-looking little smoker. It's small. It's compact. And I think that is going to be a chicken killer. So I'm glad you like it. Anybody else come in, we'll certainly let you know. And I don't have the greatest voice tonight. I came down with a little cold over the weekend, but big change in weather last week. Then it warmed right back up, and that usually gets me every time. And here it was, man, cold front came through last night, and it's supposed to be 45 tonight. I love the cool weather, but I hate the weather changes sometimes. They don't quite agree with me. Anyway, we got a few folks that we want to thank making all this possible. I'd like to thank our partners at the beginning of our shows, and we couldn't do what we do without them. Certainly thanks to Danny Him at Be Extreme, our good folks at Prairie Fresh. Thank you for the amazing ribs and pork butts that you provide for everybody. Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford and his great products. Texas Select Seasoning, Mr. Wild Bill's got some phenomenal rubs. We absolutely love him. Great supporter of our show. Gunnar Wilhelm Knives, I can't stress it. We're going to try to work a deal with David for a Christmas deal, maybe starting for Black Friday through Christmas. He did an amazing deal for Barbecue Champs last year. So be looking at the website. Put it on your list for your sweetie if maybe she wants to get something, or maybe if you're a girl on here and you want your hubby to get you something. These Gunnar Wilhelm knives are awesome, and we're going to see if we can work out a deal with David for the fall, or for the Black Friday end of the year season for the holidays. Also, good buddy, Mr. Dustin Stanley at the barbecue store. Appreciate him. John Lindsay had all queued up, and Miss Gail with Daigle's barbecue sauces and glazes. We so appreciate her. She's got some fine products. Excuse me. I hope I can get through tonight. My throat's been a little scratchy. All right, so I've only seen one person comment. I don't know if I've got my comments turned off. Usually we have like tons of comments of people coming on, and I've only seen one. I hope this is not going to be an issue. If you're there and you can comment, please do so. I'm going to have a hard time getting questions asked if nobody can comment. So I don't know if there's something that I have hit to turn off. I've never seen it do that before. Give me just a second while I take a look at this. One of them came through. I would have thought the rest of them would. It's the only one I see. Guys, if you're commenting, I'm not seeing them. And let me try it myself testing. Yeah, that's working. Well, all right. Maybe nobody's commenting. Anyway, we've got about 27 folks on here. We're not going to waste up too much more time. Nobody's commenting. I can't see it, so I'm not going to sit here and just keep going through it. I hope people can. I wish I was seeing them. It's going to make it kind of hard for me to answer questions. So we're just going to have to ask Jason a lot of questions to get all the answers out of him. So Jason, get ready, buddy. I'm coming in. We'll bring you in starting first. Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Mike. How are you?
Man, I can't complain. I'm glad that you took time. I know you've been busy as all get out. And, appreciate you taking the time to come aboard. I got somebody, okay, Lee sent me a private. I'm not seeing the comments come by, and that's really unusual. I've never seen that happen before. Anyway, I got one in. Somebody loves your race crew drum, 30-gallon, whoever Jared is. I can't remember if I've ever cooked with Jared. So mine came from YouTube. Okay, sent a comment from YouTube. I don't know. I sent mine from Facebook. It's kind of strange. Never had comments not come through. Anyway, appreciate you taking the time, Jason, to being on. Hopefully this bug will work itself out. I'll kind of look through my settings and see if there's something that's turned on. But we appreciate you taking the time. Sorry, I'm stumbling over this. I'm just really trying to get stuff working.
Appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, man, you've really you've come a long ways since the beginning when I first ran into you on the comp trail, and it's really cool to finally get a chance to talk to you. I know you've been super busy. I'm fixing to bring Lee Hickel in so we can bounce some questions off of you. Then we're going to find out a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jason Sagmiller. But as of now, we're going to pop Lee Hickel in. Hey, brother, how you doing?
What's going on, fellas? Hello, Barbecue Champs Academy.
Hey, brother, you doing all right?
I'm doing good over here in Portland, Texas.
That's good. That's good. I see you got more of them trophies hanging up. I got some. Let's see if I got some of this. Look, wrong way. Where's the? I got one over there. Something. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's the big one right there. Now that's the big boy one. Anyway, that's always a great deal down there. Andy and those guys put on such a great event, and love the BCA
right.
and all that they do and everything. So anyway, Jason, we're gonna pick your brain, man. I'm still not seeing comments while you're doing that. You may be seeing me look off to the side. I don't know why the comments are not coming through tonight. It's really strange. I cleared out every time I'm getting online. It was said it's not recording anymore. I didn't know this thing was saving them in my StreamYard, so I went in and deleted everything out. But it was just videos. It shouldn't have had anything to do with the comments. All right, Jason, so I'm going to throw some questions at you. Tell me a little bit about you, how you got started into barbecue, everything else. Lots of comments on Facebook, Mike. Sorry, guys, I'm not seeing it. I don't know why. I'll take a look. Tell me a little bit how you got started. Did you start young? Did you start as older in life, mom, dad, influencer? And then how did that transgress into you getting into competition barbecue?
It's really kind of a funny story. So no, my family does not cook. It's not something they've ever been really into. Actually, I had a buddy of mine that had just an offset smoker in the backyard, and he invited me to come over and try some of his ribs. And just by looking how he was doing it, I was like, there has to be a better way. He had 4 or 5 things of wood sticking out of the firebox, and it's smoking all over the place, and they were burned. And I'm like, man, I think I could do better. And I actually, the next day, I went and found one off of Facebook Marketplace and bought one, and I had no idea what I was doing. And
Wow.
I started cooking ribs and watching like barbecue pit masters and trying to figure out something. And I would take them ribs to work on Monday for people to try. And then people were like, "Hey, can I buy a rack? Hey, I want you to cook me 4 racks of ribs this weekend."
Right.
And I loved every second of doing it, and it became almost to a second job just every weekend, just cooking ribs for everybody. And I actually, when I got married, we went on our honeymoon, and I tore my knee up. I tore every ligament you got, and I ran my mouth to my brother-in-law and said, "Man, I want to build a big trailer smoker."
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, he's like, "Hey, where should I put this tank? I got you a big old tank. We're going to do it." And turns out my doctor wouldn't let me go back to work unless I got acquainted to walking again and moving around in a shop atmosphere. So I built one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it started. He threw a pamphlet to a cook-off that was a real small one. And we ended up getting fourth, and 12th that day, and I was hooked from there on out.
So you built your own offset smoker starting off. Okay.
Yeah.
What? How long ago was this, Jason? When did you start cooking?
Man, it was 2014.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it was right at 2014. Yeah, somewhere around there. And then once I got that, went after the first couple contests. First one I did pretty good. I got my ass kicked for there on out for the rest of the year. And I wanted one of those the Weber Smoky Mountains,
Right.
but I really didn't want to pay for it. So, and we had race fuel cans everywhere and 55-gallon jugs of race fuel. And so I was like, man, I'll make a smoker out of a drum. And I've seen it, I've seen stuff like that before, horizontal. I can make one vertical.
Okay.
And I started taking that to a contest just to cook for people on Friday night.
Right.
And that it was everything I was putting on there just turned out absolutely phenomenal. And
it's that high ethanol octane boost, right? I mean, it tastes good.
Yeah. It's 116 octane. I mean, it was great stuff.
Heck yeah, man.
But it turned out, everything was turning out so good. And the guy was like, hey, I want to buy that smoker from you. And my big trailer smoker that I built. And so I ended up selling it to him, and I had to build 3 more of them or 2 more of them so I can do a contest with it. And then the next time out, I got like first, and second. So, man, there's something to these, and I've been on them ever since. So, probably since 2015, I've been cooking on drums.
Wow.
So,
wow. So, was there a lot of drums out there at that time? Now, this was 2015?
No, I was one of, I can't remember if anyone else was even on drums. I would go to a contest and people actually truly thought they were trash cans. And, redneck people that would like to talk shit to me and bet me money that they're going to beat me with their big old stick burner. And I just found myself becoming more and more consistent cooking on drums. I was like, man, there's something to this. And then, heck, one of my first ones or all 3 of my first set is still out there. Wild Bill Purvis has one. And then, and they still are out there cooking. So
so Bill's got one of your very first ones that you built?
Yeah, he has the first one.
Really?
Yeah, he has the very first one.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So
I begged him to come to a cook-off, and he's like, well, I don't have anything to cook on. So I was like, here, try use that and see what happens.
Wow.
And he ended up walking, I think it was his first walk in IBCA. I think he got like 8 ribs. I'm not sure if he used my drum for that one.
Right.
But it was right when Bill first got started, cooking on drums.
Just go ahead and say he did, Jason. It'd be all right.
Yeah. I think he's on here, so I really won't know. So
yeah, we're not going to.
But that's pretty cool. So that was pretty cool then. So So this was what year? 2016?
No, 2014, 2015.
2014, 2015 is when you first started making the drum. Yeah. And I don't recall hardly no drums out there at that time.
Yeah, I didn't. I haven't. At that point in time, like everyone was like, "You're crazy for doing that." And they're like, "Oh, we saw them horizontal before, but we never seen them vertical like that." And they're just ugly drums. There was nothing special. And once I found some smooth-sided drums in Lufkin, and then I got my powder coating guy at the time to make them orange, and that's when kind of everything took off.
Started building the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So tell us a little bit. I know you have a 30-gallon and a 55-gallon. So your 55 gallon's always been your main one. You just now came out with a 30. So tell us a little bit about, some features on your drums, maybe what's a little bit different from big names, say like Gateway or, the Cotton Gin, stuff like that. So is there a lot of difference in drums? Say your drum compared to a Gateway, compared to, I don't know, another big brand the short rib cooker. That's the 3 that come to mind the most. Are they a lot of similarities, or is there little certain things, and you don't have to give away what you're doing, but I don't. But
So the one biggest difference that my drums have over everyone else is I use a ball valve as my
Okay.
intake, and to me, in cooking on them, that's much more of a fine tune adjustment, tool, where everyone else really has the big stacks on the sides, and that's all the way up in the air where air can go, wind and everything can really affect your drum. Where mine's all the way at the bottom, allowing just the right amount of air just to keep it nice and steady. And
okay.
that's probably the biggest thing. They're all generally very close to them. Mine are all powder coated. Gateways are not; they're painted.
Right.
I do all the powder coating here in house in my garage.
Okay.
And that's where I'm kind of, I invested a lot of time and resources is to be able to make them look as good as they run.
Yeah, man. What they are worth. I mean, it looks like you have some kind of, and I know a lot about racing myself, but it looks like you got some kind of CNC plasma cutter to cut out all your brackets and stuff like that. I can see all that stuff's cut out. They're really sharp looking, right? Your wheel brackets, your handles, everything you have is just highly custom made, and you powder coat all of it different than the drum. It really offsets. When you see a crew drum, it's a race crew drum. I mean, it is a work of art.
That's definitely I want to always try to stay, clean looking. I don't want them to look, there's some people that put all kinds of like cutting board holders on there, all this other stuff. I really have like 5 options that I offer, and people want like, hey, we add this. No, that's not for me. I won't do the stacks. I won't do this. I won't, that's just kind of how I do things. I want it to run good. I don't want it to just
look
be
good.
This weird showpiece for somebody.
Right.
So mine's just nice, clean, and simple is how I like to keep it.
When you told your wife, hold my beer, I'm going to make the garage into an assembly line workshop, what did she say to you?
Go for it. She's been she's so incredibly supportive of everything I do. When it was time to go full time for me, she was the one telling me, hey, go quit your job. Do this full time. You can do it. Wow. And, hey, go cook this weekend. You're taking a few weeks off. Let's go cook. Really kind of, pushing me to do more and more as far as what I want to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, you got to get out there too. Anytime you're in the business, when you're out at Cooks, you can talk about. You've had a great run. Let's talk a little bit about this. You had a 6th place chicken, a 9th place rib at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Man, that is a freaking huge cause at such a large barbecue competition. So you're a great cook as well.
So when I made a Facebook post a couple years ago about anyone need a head cook for Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and people were making fun of me. Oh, come on, you can't be serious and all that. And a guy picked me up, and he's like, hey, whatever you need, just let me know. I went and cooked for him, and we ended up getting 3rd place chicken that year. And so the next year, I was like, man, let's find another team to cook for. I have some really good buddies that are, know a lot of people out there, and they got me into another spot. I actually was able to have my trailer there this year. I was able to basically do whatever I wanted, and we had a really great year again. I've been extremely lucky at Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Hey, they like your food. That always helps.
Yeah, it seems like they love chicken there. I can't buy a chicken call anywhere else, but you know what? At Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, they like it.
That's good.
Yeah. And with those results, man, you almost had a good chance of GCing that thing.
Yeah, brisket killed me. So the judging guy that was in our area, our liaison dude, he's like, man, you're gonna kill it with the brisket. Brisket is your best category, and that's what we got killed in.
That's crazy.
We got murdered in brisket that year or this year.
Us too.
Wow.
Yeah, us too.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, man, that's pretty impressive. So, and you did everything. I know now. I mean, everything's 100% on Gateway. Race Crew drums.
Yes.
And man, that's awesome. And how booked up are you? I mean, I was talking to Alan, and he said, "Man, you're like 2 months booked up, aren't you?"
Right now it's between 8 to 12 months, or not months,
12
weeks.
to
I'm
8
sorry.
man, 2 to 3 months. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
How many drums can you build a week?
Between 3 and 5. Five if I'm
Wow.
really pushing them out. It's
Right.
hard. Hardcore. Um, but then again, I like to have some kind of family time. So
Right.
I use between 3 and 4 is where I like to be. Sometimes 5.
Right. Are you having any issues with supply chains on getting drums and parts and
Well, yes and no. I do order. I still order a couple things for them, and really, it's if like shipping would like clear up where UPS don't lose my shit. I'd be great. But
right.
as far as I'm making mostly everything now, so that's not a big deal. We have a metal store probably 20 minutes from the house. Really, it's powder is usually pretty easy to get. So everything seems to be pretty good as long as myself can keep up with all ordering stuff. And
Right.
that's probably my biggest problem is me. Just
Yeah.
trying to make sure I'm in control of everything. So,
Yeah.
Do you think one day you'll start rolling your own drums?
oh hell no, they roll them in like 23 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but there might be something in the road or down the road where we're manufacturing, out of plate steel drums. That's completely handmade from top to bottom.
Right.
Wow. So how thick are you? How thick is your drum?
They're
Is it
16 gauge.
16 gauge. Okay.
Yep.
So it's all
So
clean steel, rolled, the whole
oh
nine
yeah,
yards.
100% clean steel. Never had a drop of anything in them.
Right.
They come all the way from Chicago. They have everyone I get is perfect, and so I was getting some in Houston, and they would have a little bit of scrapes, dents up in them, and man, people are spending their good hard-earned money on a drum. I want it to look absolutely perfect for them.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't mind having to, get them from Chicago. They cost more, but you know what? It's a better product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. New to drums, you use N on the ball valve.
For me on ribs, I do just because I adjust the temperature a few times during the cook. I personally like them naturally aspirated. They run better. They don't use as much charcoal. I know Alan uses a fan on his, and he's even told me, "Hey, I'm running out of charcoal," and I'm like, "Man, I still have well over a half a basket of charcoal, and mine's just naturally aspirated versus him using a fan."
Okay.
So that's one big difference from a fan. It goes to the charcoal way faster.
Sure.
Okay.
So is your fire basket relatively the same size as the other brands? Or is it little?
I'm not really sure. Some people have some really big ones. Mine are 14 inches. I wanted to go for 12 hours at 300, and that's what it does. And unless you're using a fan, it's probably a couple hours short of that. But you don't need much bigger than that because you're just going to waste charcoal. And, you still want to have a nice long cook time for somebody.
Right.
Wow.
Like for competition, I only need it for 7 hours. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you're also making a backyard people who want to maybe put a brisket on and cook it low and slow for, they may have a 12-hour brisket. Now, talking about that, most brisket cookers or most drum cookers are hot and fast. Can you get yours up hot and fast or low and slow if somebody wants to order it that way? Or how are your drums typically the way that you normally would send them out the door?
So on mine, I have the ball valve up front. That's your main control. That's really your only control on air. It's designed from 265 to 325 temperature range. If you want to go lower than that, I have a cap on the back. This is like a pipe nipple with a cap on it. You put that on, and you can go even lower than that if you'd like. Okay. So anything under 200, it's not going to work very well. It's not going to want to do anything under 200 for any period of time.
Right.
But on the 30 gallons, they're half the size or roughly half the size, and they're designed to get up to 350, sometimes 375. Really depends on what you want to do.
Okay. So it's controlled by the air intake
Right.
with your ball valves on the bottom. So
Correct.
you can say, if I wanted to get one, say I want this thing to run at 270, you can dial that thing in at 270. It'll just purr there. Okay.
Yeah, we actually, I had a customer that picked up his 3 this past weekend, and within 45 minutes of having it, he already had it fired up, and he was like, "Man, I thought the gauge on front was bad. It got to 275 exactly where I wanted it, and it didn't move." He's
Wow.
like, "I had to open the lid, make sure it was still working right, and then he saw it started climbing up, and he's like, wow, it's perfect."
So do you get big spikes when, like, you take your lid off, you're basting this or doing that, and you put your lid spike up and not come back down, or does it come back down?
Yeah, yes. So if you're having if you're basting or taking meat on and off, you'll see a temperature difference for a little bit. As long as if you're basting ribs and you're spending 2 minutes to do it, it's not going to change hardly anything.
Okay.
But if you're up there and you have it up for extended period of time, 3, 4, 5 minutes, yeah, it's definitely going to get a heck of a lot hotter, and then you're going to have to calm it down. Or if you just leave it up for a really extended period of time, the whole thing will just basically boil.
Right.
So how do you know this?
Oh yeah, so we did that a couple of weeks ago. We didn't shut the lid, and we went to go turn in pork, and was talking up at the turn-in area, and I just happened to see smoke, and I thought, man, that looks like my area. There's a building in between us. It's like, oh, my buddy's like, oh, the lid to the drum, and thankfully I keep them clean. So there wasn't like a fire like coming out of it, but it was only about a foot away from the trailer and right directly under my canopy.
Oh no!
And all I did was just blister all the powder coat right off of it. So
all of
wow.
it. Yeah, all of it. It was great.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, that's pretty cool. Let's get everybody over there. And folks, I'm sorry, our comments are working tonight. I don't know why. I haven't done anything any different. I'm seeing some people that's going on our YouTube channel. So you can go to Barbecue Champs Academy, go to our YouTube channel. It should be there because there's some folks that are saying that's happened to us. I don't know what's happened, why it's not working. Sorry. So we'll try to ask as many questions as we can, or if you have specific questions, just log out of our Facebook, go to BBQ Champs Academy, find us on YouTube, and it looks like we can comment there.
So Jason, I know we haven't talked much about the sanctioning bodies you cook in, but you got some pretty good accolades from IBCA, other organizations. You know, you've been a pretty good super trooper that we really haven't hit on as far as your rankings and all that. Do you want to touch on that a little bit? Because you are
right now, I'm just doing a little bit of everything. IBCA, CBA, KCBS, Outlaw. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything. For the most part, I like them all. Just depends on if I want to cook pork that weekend or not, or if it's even worth, money-wise to go to a faraway cook-off where, might not get a chance to even make your money back.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because people need to realize you are a true cook. You're not just a guy that sits in your shop and makes drums. Yeah. You know what works. You fine-tune those drums, the right elevation for the ball valves, the rack system. You just didn't get it right the first time, so you fine-tuned it. And people
I screwed up several, I'll tell you that. I screwed up several of the 30 gallons too, and those are kind of hard to get.
Right.
So, but no, it's that's what kind of, is my thing is I'm cooking on them every weekend, and people see me cooking on them. Like Bill Purpose cooking on them. All these other cooks that do well using our drums, and basically they kind of sell themselves. Really, I really don't do any kind of advertising. Except for Facebook posts about what's going out this week. And right. But I've been using them for 6 years now, 7 years.
Yeah.
So, and I love them. I don't have a preference on. I don't have a desire to cook on anything else.
Wow.
So do we have to come to your house, or do you ship out to other areas?
We go ahead. We ship with how everything is. Shipping is expensive, unfortunately. But yeah, comes to the house, or if I'm going to a certain area, I can deliver them. I'm not opposed to doing that at all.
Right.
But shipping, up to Missouri or whatever, done that a few times. So
I got you.
it just gets it kind of expensive, on that aspect.
Yeah.
Right.
So with teams that do travel outside of Texas, because you're well known throughout the state of Texas, very, very known. Do you find that when teams cook outside of Texas, that kind of helps the sales a little bit whenever they do good?
Absolutely. That it's always, it seems like just from the Royal, I didn't go this year. There was quite a few teams that were there with my drums, and I tell you what, Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like I can't get work done. I'm on the phone constantly.
Yeah.
And which is a great problem to have, and I love it. And they're like, "Oh man, we saw these out here," and they send me pictures of, "Is this you? Is this your drums? Or who's this?" And it's awesome.
There's a guy named Chicken Fried Barbecue. I think his name is Bill somebody.
Wild man.
Big wild man. He wants to know, do you deliver to Magnolia, Texas?
Oh, he already knows.
He already knows. He told us, Bill, you got the very first one he ever cooked, and you still own it. So,
hey, all the time too.
Yeah, he on them. So, all right. So I'm glad people are making the switch, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why Facebook is not allowing the post to go through. So, if you want to make comments, and we're sorry that it happened, don't know what's going on. Gordon told us he was able to go over to YouTube and make them. So we got some comments finally coming in, which is great. Hey, Mike, I got you on the YouTube channel. Great. Thank you for letting me know. At least we have avenues working. Josh Hale, is Mike going to make the change to cans? Man, I've thought about it a lot, but I just cannot get rid of my rotisserie smoker. I'm the only one that I know of on the competition circuit, especially in Texas, Louisiana, that cooks rotisserie. I love it's got to be something with that thing, because I do pretty well wherever I go.
Yeah,
I wanted it.
It actually looks like a can. It is a can. It's
round, big,
turned sideways,
laying on its side. It's got a bunch of racks that go round and round in it. But if I did, and I have often thought about it, just like, if I did, I would get your drums. There's no question, and they would be red, no question. Sorry, buddy. The race car was red. If it's gonna say Race Crew Drums on it, it's gonna be freaking red. I'm gonna get you the color of that red Firebird that we used to race.
There you go.
But I almost like, I think I may make the switch here, and I was just like, no, I'm sticking with mine.
What's working,
and
I'll say that.
My rotisserie my ribs are done every time at the same. My brisket is always within 30 minutes. I love the flavor it puts on it. I can't, my ribs and brisket's been killing it this year, and chicken's been a little nemesis a little bit, but it comes and goes. I never cut my chicken on it goes on a grill, or salmon a grill. I've been back and forth. So, anyway, all right, we got another question come down. Is the 30-gallon drum, is it a cut down 55?
No, it is its own, designed. It looks
smaller,
different.
Smaller diameter.
It's 18 and a half versus 24
20
or 22.5.
Okay.
It is smaller. It has a dome lid kind of to it. You probably see it right here.
Yeah, pull it out real quick. Let's see. Does the drum? All right, here's some. Good. Hey, guys, I appreciate the question. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can see it. Okay. Now, doesn't have anything in it.
Okay. A little smaller. Man, I love it.
I like that.
Definitely smaller. Definitely might need to get one of them for my chicken. So, yeah. That's it. How much does the 30-gallon weigh?
How much does it weigh? Oh man, that's a good question. Probably about 40 pounds.
40 pounds. Okay.
Hey, are your drums designed for the backyard guys that or whatever want to hang the meat? You have like a hanger in there?
No, and that's kind of like my thing is I wouldn't trust myself doing it. I don't know how it would really work. and I just happened. I've had actually a lot of people ask about it lately, but no, I've never put a rib rack in there ever, and they've always. I mean, I just usually just cook 3 or 2 of them, so I never
I
really
got you.
cooked 10 of them at a time.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Jamie Roby wants to know: does the drum have to be level to cook?
No, but if you're OCD like myself, yeah, absolutely, it has to be level. Everything has to be level.
There you
Trailer
go.
has to be level.
That's right.
Pit has to be level.
That's right. 100%.
He already
All
knows
right.
I'm too OCD. I gave him a hell this past weekend.
You just need to
Good.
cut that little beard a little bit more this way to make it more symmetrical, Jason. You kind of missed it a
No,
little bit. There
just
you
move
go.
it over. Yeah.
Just twist it.
Yep.
Love the OG. It's my favorite. He loves your original one. So,
Oh yeah. I
all
told him
right.
he can't sandblast it. He can't do anything. It has to be OG.
That's it. All right, John Hale. Jason, do you use any speedy dry or kitty litter in the bottom of the
Yes.
drum for grease?
Yeah, especially for pork. If I'm doing 3 or 4 pork butts in there,
Right.
I'll put the oil dry from you get from O'Reilly's, the
Okay.
clay base. I'll put probably 1/4 inch at the bottom, and then just dump it out or vacuum it out.
Okay, so you put that in there first. You put your fire basket in.
Yeah.
You light it, and so it doesn't.
No, it doesn't change anything.
That's interesting.
Yeah, keeps it from getting all nasty down there.
Okay, it picks up the grease as it's going in it.
Yep.
It doesn't
It sucks it
create
up.
an aroma or a flavor that's offensive.
Nope.
Wow.
Dang.
The only thing it does is puts a little dust in the air when you first put it down there, but I usually do that several hours in advance.
Yeah. Well, you could always put it in just a light little spritz.
Yeah.
Just missed it, just anything, racetrack stuff. I mean, cleaning up stuff. So, wow, that is awesome. All right, chicken fried.
How long does it take to preheat your drum to once you start?
The way I tell people to fire them off, I tell them to use a hot charcoal chimney full of hot coals and just dump it on top. It'll be up to cooking temperature in probably about 4 minutes.
Ooh,
wow.
Yeah, it doesn't take no time at all. And then I tell people to, let it go for 20 minutes or so. Make sure it's exactly where you want it. Go ahead and put your meat on, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Mike, no wonder he wakes up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know it.
Holy cow.
Wow. Just like the flavor of kitty litter.
That was my flavor.
I love it.
I only get lucky once in a while.
That's I know what Stephen this is. This Stephen Peacock. Stephen, we tried to get him on. He said his classes are kicking it. Stephen was just talking earlier about you. I'm assuming this is you saying the classes are kicking it. You had a grand champion, your first time out, ever grand champion using Lee's after taking Lee's, and I think you had a first brisket, third chicken, and Meridian, or I had them backwards, one or the other. But I'm assuming that's the Stephen Peacock that I'm thinking of. And I did reach out to him to see if he could make it, but he didn't think he could get off work in time. So I'm thinking they don't put the last name up on this. So, but anyway, classes are kicking it. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Let's see what else we got. Sorry, we don't have everybody's post. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but if you want to make a comment, like I said, you can switch over to our YouTube channel. And by switching over to that, you can make comments. Let's see. Make sure see if I didn't miss anything. Well, Jason, I'll tell you one other thing real quick. Tell us a little bit about the flavor profile. So you've cooked on an offset. You've went over to the drum. What's the big difference that you think happens with the drum and does it change the flavor that much? And if so, what does it taste like?
So, with my experience, it's a cross between offset barbecue smoking and grilling. It's that happy medium where you can still get a little bit of that char on the bottom. You're still getting as much wood flavor as you want. Like for me, I don't put any wood with my chicken. It's all charcoal based.
Okay.
And then my brisket, I put a bunch of wood in there because I really want that deep smoke flavor in there. And ribs are somewhere in the middle with that.
Okay.
It gives you the option of, no smoke to all the smoke you could possibly want. And that's the cool thing about it is a lot of people, if they have a drum, they usually have maybe 2, maybe 3 of them, and you're using different woods, and that's a big deal. You know, for me, I use a lot of pecan, but in brisket, it's post oak.
Right.
So,
okay.
And different temperatures, stuff like that, you're able to do stuff. The biggest difference would be ease of use, and you can really control exactly what flavor you want that smoker to put out.
Okay.
So
that's cool. Can you get a good smoky flavor on a brisket?
Oh yeah. Oh, you can over smoke something just as fast as you can on an offset.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
and so roughly, are you like 2 hours on smoke and then wrap, or are you on your brisket?
So for me, I go a little bit different. I'm 3 hours on smoke. I usually go by temperature. I want to wrap at 185, and so whatever.
Wow,
you
got it up there.
I take it because I want to get that. I want that dark,
color,
dark, almost black looking brisket.
Okay.
And and I don't want to put a ton of wood in there, so I'm just putting 2 or 3 pieces in there at the top, and that usually just gets it right through my time period, and it's good to go.
Okay, so how long does a brisket cook for you? 5 hours?
Yeah, 5 hours.
5 hours.
Yep.
So what's your wood preference to get that real pretty black bark?
Post oak.
Post oak.
Post oak.
And sometimes a little bit pecan. You know, doesn't hurt nothing.
You use little splits, little fist-sized chunks?
Oh, no, I use really small pieces. Mine's probably a quarter of a fist size. They're almost like slivers.
Okay. So it catches it up real fast, burns smokes, and get the next one going. Okay. Yep. All right, so here's the question. How much are the drums? Say a fully tricked out one with a handle, no bells and whistles, a good drum. What's your average one?
So for the 30 gallons, they're $550, and really the only thing you need to choose on those is colors. I'm not really offering a lot to them, trying to keep the cost down on them. For the 55 gallons, they're $650 all the way up to almost $1,100, depending on what you want. Custom colors, we can do all kinds of different powder coating scenarios where it could be $300 worth of powder on it. It's all how fancy you really want to be. But usually my best-selling model, which is the side handles with casters, is $810.
$810.
Okay.
That's not a bad price. That's
and
really good.
So what are you calling a standard color that's not customized?
Man, there's so many different colors. Like Allen's has that real deep shattered glass on it. That would be an extra charge. It's a 2-step. Really, any color that's a 2-step where you have to involve a special clear or a special act to make something like a chrome base, then a color coat, then a clear coat. There's so many different options. I'm still learning with the powder coat stuff. It's really fun, and you can do a lot of crazy colors with it.
Right. And
it gets quite expensive real fast. I started mixing powders, mixing pearls into colors, and trying just to figure out, get someone a little bit different than everybody else.
So I'll tell you what, you've practiced pretty well, Jason, because I've seen a lot of your drums, and there is not one blemish at all on that powder coat. I mean, there's no no drips. They're perfect.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
they're perfect.
Yeah. I invested a lot of equipment to make sure that doesn't happen. So
that's good.
Right.
That's good. You build a quality product. There's no question. It's unreal. So I'm assuming there's no upcharge for red, right?
No. Actually,
only today.
It's almost output almost.
At first I had only heard he will only give you an orange drum, and I think he found out real fast. No, I want a red one. Okay, red it's going to be now that I'm 100% doing this. What about other people's drums? Say somebody's got a Gateway and they want to refurbish it, get the paint off. Will you take one of those in now and put your magical stuff to it?
Yes, I will. I'll do it very reluctantly. It's not something I like to do. But yeah, I'll powder coat, redo drums all the time. That's kind of like my side business to my business is powder coating. So I have people drop off stuff all the time. I
Good.
have them powder coat it for them, and that's kind of a little side gig, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Hey, James Dotson, I can see your question now. You're on Facebook. What the heck is going on? You're the first one I've seen. Oh, hey, Facebook is working now. Holy cow. I don't know what happened. I didn't even touch anything. All right.
Hey, Jason,
Yes.
I got a question for you.
What you got?
So I know Gateway came out with a massive drum to cook a whole hog on.
Yeah.
You may have seen it on social media or maybe in person. Is that something that maybe that Race Crew barbecue drums wants to?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I can see where the draw is. First of all, I have nowhere to put it.
Yeah, that's for
I don't
sure.
have any way to haul it. And, you know, it's kind of just like you know, they did cook on it. They did do well with it, but it's more just an attention getter.
Yeah,
I'd
it
rather
is.
just people win on my stuff, and that's all the attention I need.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
All right, so we got some questions. Let's see. Jason, what's your take on someone thinking about starting a drum business?
Man, make sure you want to. My biggest thing is make sure you can put the attention to quality. You know, make sure you. For me, it might not be the best financial decision for me because I do spend a lot of time on them, and yeah, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But really, just making sure you can do everything yourself. It took a while for me to build up to it, and but don't always ask for help if you can. If you have questions, there's many of us that will give you a helping hand.
Yeah.
The correct answer is no, don't start it. It's the worst thing you can ever do in your entire life.
Yeah. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
That's funny. All right, Brady Bodine, what kind of cleaning do you give drums? There you go. What kind of cleaning do you give your drums between cooks? How do you go about cleaning?
So on the inside, if it comes off with a putty knife, perfect. I vacuum out the bottom, scrape the sides, scrape the lid. On the outside, I'll use 409 and some spray wax. Make sure you want them to look nice and shiny for the next time.
Yeah.
I think Brady Boudin is the #1 cook in Louisiana right now, isn't he?
I think him or Jerry. I don't know if he jumped Jerry or not. So
he did.
He did jump Jerry. Okay, good. Yeah, Brady's. I'm telling you what, man. Anytime he shows up, him and Jerry both, along with about other deadgum South Louisiana guys, you all bring your A game because they're going to butt and they're going to make it. So anyway, I mean, so clean it between. Yeah, I introduced Alan. He was over there waxing them in Ennis, and he was with. Like, man, let me show you how to clean this thing. So I walked over to that Formula One, that stuff they use on the NASCAR Formula. You spray it on it. It's a cleaner and a wax.
Yeah.
And it's FX1, I think, is what it is. It's I showed him that stuff. He had it all going, and I was like, man, wiped it. And I was like, look at that, clean. And he I said, did you see that fly land on the top of that lid, skidded and busted his butt right off of it? He cracked up at me. I said, that's some good stuff. So I said, look. He said, well, what have you got it for? I said, let me tell you something. I said, you see Roto Jr. over there? I said, I might not can cook good, but at least I can look good cooking. Always remember that. So it always gets a little wax job on it every time I go to a competition. So
absolutely. I try to have everything nice, clean, ready to rock and roll on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. I am so glad we're finally getting some Facebook comments coming through. I hope everybody is. If you got a comment, pop it up. Maybe it's working now on Facebook. We've got 3 or 4 of them here lately. Lee, I tell you what, man. Let's talk real quick. Poor Lee. We've spent almost an hour talking with Jason. But man, it's been great. But I do want to talk a little bit about, and I'm going to throw this up. It's racecrewdrumsmokers.com. Racecrewdrumsmokers.com. It doesn't have pricing. It's got some pictures on there of what light. It's got contact information. Reach out to him. You won't find a nicer guy to help you with it. And I promise you this, attention to detail is a big thing to me because of all of my racing stuff. You will not find the quality, attention to detail, second to none. I'm just telling you, this is a custom hand-built drum. He builds about 3 to 5 a week. They are absolutely amazing. So check them out.
Jason, did you
Race
say
Crew
that you had your own CNC plasma cutter where you cut out all your hardware?
Yep.
That's
That
awesome.
sucker's a money printer is what that thing is. That sucker is awesome. I can't believe it took so long for me to get one.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go Webbers.
There's nothing wrong with Weber, that's for
Webbers
sure.
are good. All right, Lee, we got to talk a little bit about you, man. You've been on fire here lately. 3 grand champions in your cook-offs. You've been doing awesome. Congrats to you, man. You're selling a lot of classes because of it. So you've got some great students out there. Stephen Peacock had another great weekend. But I want to talk a little bit about something that you're going to be doing for our armed forces. And it's a little bit about what's up with that. And it's a cool deal.
You bet. So it's Saluting with Smoke 2022 Mission 100 Hours. It's a nonprofit. It's going to be in Yorkville, Illinois, November 4th and 5th. It's the first weekend of November. I was blessed to be reached out to by Sean Young, who's the coordinator of this. And it's an annual event that they do up in Yorkville, Illinois. And what this barbecue fundraiser event is for, it's to help military veterans who are transitioning from military life to civilian life. You know, we have men and women overseas, you know, fighting our country. And sometimes it's kind of hard to leave the war behind when you come home. So not only does it affect them mentally, it also affects their family, right? Because they're home with either PTSD or survivor guilt, or they may have suicidal tendencies. So this is kind of along the same coattails as Texas Chrome.
Yep.
But this is up in the northern area. So it's a full-fledged barbecue cook-off. Matter of fact, you can sign up even today on the KCBS website, and you can go up there and cook it. They are doing a 1-meat rib challenge on Friday. So what they've done is they have 5 team captains. I'm representing Team Coast Guard. I'm probably the underdog of this group I'm about to mention, but hey, I'm going to go up there and do the best I can. So I represent Team Coast Guard, Brad Leiniger from Getting Basted, Heavy Smoke, Chris Schaefer. Keep in mind that is the current and last year's Jack Daniels champion.
Won it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. We have Fergalicious and we have Luke Booty Sterling. We're the team captains. We're all flying up to Yorkville, Illinois, and we're all assigned 4 veterans from each of the military branches. And our job is to coach those veterans. We can't do any of the cooking, but we can walk them through preparation. But what's really neat about this is the meat's all provided, and so is the commissary to buy all the to use all the seasoning. So it's a fair, even playing for everybody.
Right.
But the meat entry is going to be pretty neat because it is ribs, chicken, anything pork, and MREs. Meals ready to eat. Right. So I'm not real sure how they're going to figure out who picks the MRE. They ordered 5 cases of MREs. They're going to lay them out on the table, but they're going to do like an SCA draw. So they might take the winner of Friday's. Us on Friday, the team captains can cook against the other competitors, and then they'll take the highest ranking person who's number 1 in ribs amongst us 5, and they'll get the first pick of the MREs.
Okay.
And second will get second, and then 5th place will get 5th, and then first pick again. You get 2 bags.
2 bags. Okay.
So that way it's like an SCA.
Right.
So
right. Flip it around.
First place may pick up the macaroni and cheese, and last maybe getting the sauerkraut and salami. You know, you never know what you're going to get.
Right.
But we still have to make a meal out of it and turn that in for the judges.
Wow.
And it's all a fundraiser. The whole town is coming together. But I'm going to minimize it so I can read. But it's Saluting with Smoke 2022 Mission 100 Hours. So I'm retired Coast Guard. And so 100 hours is the start of a new day. It's midnight.
Okay. Right.
So basically, it's a new day. You know, the past happened to these veterans and everybody else. But let's start off with a new clean slate, 100 hours. Let's bring them up, entertain, socialize. Let's get their mindset away from the everyday problems of suffering with diseases,
PTSD like that.
Correct.
That's awesome.
So so I was honored to be part of that heavy hitting crew up there, and just to represent and talk everybody through it. Fergalicious, he's military. Loot and Booty's military. I don't know if Heavy Smoke and Brad Lonergan were military, but they're a wealth of knowledge, and anybody who's suffering any type of disease, any type of counseling. Yeah. Right. You can be a first responder and still suffer from PTSD or some type of problems, every field. So this is just a way to help out the veterans in this. So that'll be the first weekend in November. I think you have to fly in if you're going to fly to O'Hara or Midland. I'm flying into Midland Airport. Midway Airport.
Midway Airport.
And then they're going to pick us up. So
that's so cool.
They want to come up to me. Yeah, I'm really, really honored. And I get emotional on this stuff too.
Yeah,
being military, so it's pretty cool.
That's a cool deal, man. Dude, man, you really are. He's out trying to help everybody. You knew how much this guy for churches, freezers. I'll call him up. What are you doing? I'm cooking 400 pounds of pork butts, and I'm like, what the heck? What are you doing? I'm cooking 15, 20-pound prime ribs, and like he is always cooking for the church, for fundraisers, for people. Always. He must have did it 10 times in the last 6 months, at least.
Yeah.
And,
during the COVID time,
I'm
blessed, got a great family, and, we kind of give away more than we keep, and that's the way we're supposed to do it. Many restaurants, they were closing down, and the business is closing down, so I would go ahead and fund all the meat and everything like that, and pull up in their parking lot and just do a big barbecue fundraiser. I gave 100% away. I don't keep any money. I pay for 100% of everything and cook it, and we sell it, and they keep 100%. That's just what we're supposed to do, right? Whenever we're got kicked in the guts, that's just our duty. That's our duty to the world, and what God wants us to do. So
that's it.
Yeah,
man, that's so
I'm
awesome.
Excited.
That's so awesome. Well, Lee, I appreciate it. Jason, man, it was great having you tonight, man.
Thank you for having me.
Learned a lot about drums, a lot about you. Your drums are awesome, and there's no question they're a work of art. You got any sponsors that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Moshcats Meat Market in Conroe, Texas. He ships out all over wherever you're at. Holy Smoke Spice Company, B&B Charcoal, Amp Barbecue Products, or people say all Michelle's products.
It is.
Smoking Wizard Glaze, Chicken Fried Barbecue, the Rib Grind, Countryside Trailers, and that's what we got.
That's good, man. Well, congratulations on your success. Awesome to watch you grow. The future's bright for you, young man. Keep it up.
All right, thank you, sir.
Keep it up. Mr. Lee, you got anything, Lee? Any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to as well?
Yeah, like Tiny E would say from, Tim Esch, I want to thank MasterCard and Visa and American Express.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and I. But no, definitely want to thank God for being able to do all this from day in, day out, for sure. B&B Charcoal, they provide 100% of all my fuel source for the barbecue. So kudos to them. Cosmo Q Competition Rubs and Spices. Thank you, Darian, for having trust and faith in me. For sure. Salute faith in me in that. B&B Charcoal, Cosmo, Meat Hustler.
Yeah.
For sure. Andy Lugo out of San Antonio, Texas. All my competition meat comes from him. So I appreciate everything he's doing, and that's really Ranch Water.
Ranch Water.
We give a lot of crap, but we got the original Ranch Water.
There in the house.
Don King and his guys, the Blue Agave and Seltzer.
Yeah.
So appreciate those guys and all their support in me what I do. So
yeah.
That's about it.
Guys, I appreciate everybody, all y'all being on tonight. It's been a great show. We've had quite a few listeners. I'm sorry, guys, at the beginning that the comments weren't coming through on Facebook. I'm glad all of a sudden they started. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a glitch, obviously, with Facebook. I hope it don't happen again. I'm not sure I'll be here next Tuesday, so I'll let you know. If not, we'll be back the following Tuesday. Maybe in the middle of some work, so I'll definitely let you know. But those that are out cooking this coming up weekend, go out there, enjoy it. It's barbecue. Looks like it's really growing. More people. I think the competition they had up here just north of Dallas here 2 or 3 weeks ago that Steve had won. I think they told me event. I think they had 13 new cookers at that event that had never cooked before, and first time cookers had about 45 or 50 cookers. That is awesome to see this sport. Seeing more and more people coming into Barbecue Champs Academy, new cookers left and right. This last week we've had 2 people buy classes that are backyard cookers that are wanting to just dabble in it and just see if they can get the bug, and they want to go cook competition. I've reached out to a couple of those people to them. So our sport hopefully is continue to grow and everything we can. Great guys like throwing out some awesome easy drums to learn how to cook on. Lee Hickel putting out some awesome classes along with all the other barbecue guys that we have. It's making it a lot easier, and we got a lot of people out there that are supporting us and giving us huge shout outs. We appreciate all that. At one time I'm going to get a lot of you guys together, try to get several alumni together. We've done that in the past to kind of talk about, your transition from getting into competition and going out and being successful in the comp trail, because it's a lot of fun. Barbecue to me is about family, friends, and loved ones and building some great memories. I enjoy it. Y'all go out there, have a lot of fun, and